Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to episode 30 of my ongoing Let's Play Battle Brothers series. Now we are still looking for an undead stronghold, and the fact that this small batch of zombies just came out of that stronghold over there is a pretty good sign. Now, first we're going to wipe out this little band of undead, because why not? That's some quick, easy experience points. But then we'll move on to attacking that stronghold, and hopefully we'll be able to wrap up our latest ambition. Now, of course, you know the drill here. We're just going to hold position and allow these zombies to slowly approach us. Then we'll start picking off the easiest targets with our archers, and whoever survives long enough to reach our front line will get the honor of being hacked down by our frontliners. Now, of course, there are some Noxerer hiding somewhere in the fog of war, but we're not going to worry about them just yet. For now, we'll just focus on whittling down the Wiedergangers. And while we haven't dropped any of them so far, we are doing a good job of tearing all their armor apart. Looks like the Noxerer are still hanging back, no doubt waiting for us to create some corpses for them to devour. Though, now that we've actually knocked one of the Wiedergangers down, it should just be another turn or two before those filthy ghouls show their faces. Alright, let's get our spear wall set and prepare for incoming. I'm not actually sure if these guys can reach us this turn, but better safe than sorry. Yeah, there we go. Good thing we had our spears ready. Alright, let's pass the rest of the turn, make sure our spears are all still set, and move into round 3. Of course, the one Wiederganger we did manage to take out just reanimated. But that's fine. We'll just keep shooting these guys down faster than they can reanimate. There we go, we've got 2 down now. No real good shots for Mark. And keep those spears ready. They are, of course, beelining right for Dominic. He's still our lowest level brother at the moment. Okay, everyone else hold position, and round 4 we should finally see those Noxerer make an appearance. There they are. So we've got 3 Noxerer to deal with, and it's all the smallest, weakest versions. So that's definitely not going to be a problem, as long as we stay on top of it. I'd like to take some pot shots at them, but we don't really have any good 2-hit chances here. So for now, we'll continue focusing on the Wiedergangers. Though, now that I've dropped a Wiederganger literally right in front of them, I should probably at least try to take out 1 or 2. There's a couple of decent crippling wounds, a punctured lung and a punctured thigh. No fatalities, though. Unfortunately, if they manage to eat that corpse, they'll immediately be healed of those crippling wounds. Well, we'll keep our spears ready for now, but I think it's just about time to start moving up within the next turn or 2. We've got the inevitable reanimations. Oh, and it looks like the looks like the furthest Noxer actually blocked his allies from devouring that closest corpse, meaning that the two wounded Noxer suicidally threw themselves into our spears. It certainly worked out about as well as it could have. Now we can just keep shooting down these reanimated Wiedergangers, and then focus on taking out that Noxer before he can eat that corpse. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and start taking pot shots at him. There's a solid arm injury. And we'll start bringing up the front line. We'll bring Casimir up to lock down that last Noxer, and he manages to knock it to death's doorstep. And we'll bring Dominic in, but he won't have time to attack. That thing's morale is shot, though, so once it tries to run, they're going to cut it down. We are not letting it go. We do have one reanimated zombie, but somehow I don't think that's going to be a problem. There goes the Noxer. And let's see if Potato can snag that last kill. Well, he missed his shot, so looks like the glory goes to Casimir. Looks like Bunny pulls MVP with 4 kills, and sadly no level ups. And the loot's about as disappointing as I expected it to be, but we'll scoop everything up for now. And now, onwards to the collapsed ruins. Once I've rearranged our battle line a little. And welcome back! Now I've gone ahead and rearranged our lineup. I've brought in some alternate brothers just to make sure everyone gets some play time. And unfortunately we don't know what kind of enemies we're facing in here. We know it's probably undead, but beyond that... Okay. This looks pretty straightforward. We've got that one fallen hero with a great axe. He could be a threat. But aside from that, Geists and Wiedergangers, we've faced that kind of thing before. Definitely not anything to worry ourselves over. Though, yeah, I was afraid of that. We do have a Necromancer, which means we're going to have to be more aggressive than usual. We're going to go ahead and start hopping our guys forward 2 spaces to get our archers within shooting range. If we're lucky, they'll be able to pick off the Necromancer before he can give us too much trouble. But really, looking at their lineup, that Necromancer and the Fallen Hero are the only real threats on the board. We've already got one possessed Wiederganger lunging into our front lines. Okay, let's start taking shots at the Necromancer. If we're lucky, we'll manage to land an arrow or 2. But so far, luck is not on our side. Though, now we have a completely open shot now that that Geist has moved up. And we took off the Necromancer's ear. Very nice. That was Wajtek with that well-placed arrow. Now let's go ahead and contend with this possessed Wiederganger. Dominic will knock him back. And that'll give us time to set up our spear wall next turn. Though with Igot slotted onto our front line right now, we're not going to be able to set up a complete spear wall. There will be one opening where Janos and Igot are set up. Looks like we resisted the Geist screaming, so let's start taking shots at that unattended Necromancer. Nice, and we started off with a pierced chest injury. One more arrow should drop this guy. And Alessandro pulls the kill. Once again, he is the bane of the foul undead. Unfortunately, Dominic wasn't able to get his spear up in time, so we're going to have them engaged on our center lines, but at least we will still be able to ward them off our north and south flanks. I think the most important thing here is going to be delaying that fallen hero long enough for us to take out the majority of the Wiedergangers and possibly those two Geists as well. Then we can try to harvest the gear off of that hero. We can always use more decayed... what is that? A coat of plates, maybe? So far, so good. We're actually doing a pretty good job here of keeping them off our flanks and funneling them into the center of our line, which is effectively a kill zone with 3 great weapons. Chiron just managed to delay the hero. That's good. Rondus brings out the greatsword, takes out most of that Wiederganger's health and armor. And round 3. Those Geists are the ones who could ruin all our plans, but so far it hasn't been so bad. Now the archers continue to trim their ranks. Henry will of course rally, but no effect on Chiron. His morale is still flagging. Nice. Well, we've hacked down 5 of the Wiedergangers between our archers and our pole armors. Now let's see if they start funneling into our center line again. No, they seem pretty intent on trying to engage our spearmen. But it's killing them, so I certainly can't complain. Alright, there we go. Now they're back on our center. Let's go ahead and start moving up to engage them now. See if we can take out 1 or 2 of those Geists. Chiron will dodge in and attack the other Geist. There we go. And you know what? Then I'll use Berserker to hop back onto the line. But here comes the hero. That Great Axe is still a massive danger to our brothers. But the chance to net a weapon and a set of plate mail is just too good to pass up. Let's start swapping out to our daggers and shields. And once we can clear some more of these sword fodder enemies, we can start surrounding him. Though these Wiedergangers sure seem intent on keeping us off the hero. Fortunately, it turns out our archers are just as adept at putting the Wiedergangers back to rest. Nice. Vlad drops 2 of them in a single turn. Henry rallies again, and this time it does manage to improve Chiron's morale a bit. And Rondus begins our assault on the fallen hero. Theoretically, with no shield, he should be a bit easier to hit with our piercing strikes, but it doesn't seem to have helped Rondus much. But Igot manages to take out the last Wiederganger, and then he starts moving towards the hero. I'm hesitant to move Dominic into combat with the hero, so he'll go help with that last Wiederganger. But everyone else is going to go ahead and start dogpiling on this undead monster. You can actually see he just tried to make an area attack with his great axe, but fortunately it didn't get past Rondus or Chiron's shields. Alright, moving into round 5. And once again, the Wiedergangers seem intent on preventing us from surrounding that hero. But I think our archers can help with that. Nice. And there we go. Alessandro manages to drop the last of the hero's escorts. I'd kind of like to soften this guy up with a few arrows, but I really don't want to damage that armor any more than necessary, so we'll hold off for now. But of course, if he actually starts hitting our guys with that axe, then all bets are off. There we go. Dominic and Reinhard finally finish off the last of the Wiedergangers. The rest of the brothers are actually making some pretty good progress, tearing through the hero's defenses. Ooh. Looks like we're going to have to end the turn, unfortunately. I was hoping to drop him this turn, but he's going to get one more chance to attack us. Alright, he landed 2 hits, and one of those hits actually managed to badly injure Henry. Fortunately, the hero's at the point where just 1 or 2 more dagger strikes will actually finish him off, so let's just keep at it. And there we go. Henry may have taken the crippling injury, but he also takes the final strike that drops the hero. Wojtek hits level 7. And once again, Bunny pulls MVP with 4 kills. Congratulations. We pulled a couple of signet rings and that great axe. That's nice. And we pulled the fallen hero's armor, which is indeed a decayed coat of plates. That's pretty nice. Though, unfortunately, we didn't get his helmet. Oh well. It looks like I'm going to have to shuffle our inventory around a little bit, but then we'll head back to Gronenfest. Thanks to the Retcon Raiders, the shambling monstrosities of the collapsed ruins will never again threaten innocent folk. The men, however, will need a few days and copious amounts of drink to process the horrors they faced. "How can anything so foul show itself by the light of day?" asks Woe the 77th, staring blandly into the distance. "It collapsed straight into a heap of rotten bones and dust, nothing at all holding it together but its curse. Even darker fears are sparked by Vlad Kapesh. They told me back in Eichenberg that any good man killed by one of them horrors is doomed to come back from the grave himself and can never sit by the gods. Some men argue loudly against this, not because they know better, but because they don't want it to be true. You give the order to bank the fire before someone starts telling any more ghost stories. The men may have trouble sleeping this night, but morale will rise again with the dawn." And that's another ambition taken care of, which of course means that we get morale boosts across the board, plus this undead trophy, whatever that means. Let's take a quick peek at that. This ancient necklace taken from a pile of bones declares the one wearing it a veteran of many battles against the undead scourge, and one not to waver in the face of their horror. Grants immunity against fear and mind control abilities. Well, that's a bit sobering. I wasn't even aware there were enemies that could control minds. Something else to look forward to, I suppose. Well, I'll have to give some thought as to who is going to wear that, though for now it may not actually be necessary. And let's go ahead and pop by Sea Camp real quick to sell some of this loot, and then we'll head back to Gronenfest. And welcome back. Now, we're still heading back to Gronenfest, but against my better judgment, I've decided to dive into this undead burial site. I've done everything I can so far to... 19 opponents. Alright, let me start off by saying this may have been a terrible mistake. I've done everything I can to avoid fighting skeletons so far, but I figured it was finally time to give it a shot. Fortunately, in this case, it's a group made up predominantly of skeletal auxiliaries rather than actual legionnaires. That means at the very least that they're not sporting heavy armor and weaponry, so hopefully we'll be able to take them down pretty quickly. Of course, you'll notice that I've swapped out all of our archers. We've come in with nothing but melee fighters, and we've dropped our normal spears in favor of axes. The axes are so we can chew through these guys' rotting wooden shields more efficiently. And as for the archers, well, unfortunately their arrows just have no real significant effect against skeletal foes. But the other reason we didn't want them coming along is because we've got some necro-savants hiding out there in the darkness, and, well, you'll see why it's a bad idea to bring lightly armored troops into combat with them in just another round or two. Okay, for now I think we're going to go ahead and hold back and let these guys approach us. It's important for now that we keep a unified defense in all directions. That will quickly become necessary once these skeletons start wrapping around our formation, and it will be even more necessary once the necro-savants enter the fray. Though I will take this elevated terrain, and Janos will lead our attack, nice, with a swift, crushing blow. Now, unlike Wiedergangers, skeletons do not get back up after you kill them, so that at least is something we can take advantage of. Looks like the first few skeletons are entering battle, and they are trying to shield tank us. For the moment, we'll probably focus on... well, I was going to say we'd focus on the shieldless skeletons, but there's actually only 2 of those. So I guess we'll just have to take our attacks wherever we can get them. Speaking of which... nice. Chiron manages to drop one of the skeletons right off the bat. But another one quickly steps up to take its place. Now Rondus can break out his greatsword. He slices through their ranks, dropping one skeleton, and then finishes off the other one with his follow-through. Now Janos gets to go again. And he drops 3 skeletons in one swing. It's now an even match, 12 versus 12. And here come the necro-savants. These guys are basically vampires, and as you can see here, they don't move normally. They can teleport by turning into a cloud of bats and reforming pretty much anywhere on the battlefield within their movement range. If we had archers on the field, you could be sure those necro-savants would have gone right for them. Now, when you're fighting necro-savants, you need to take these guys out quickly. When they first enter battle, they're starved for blood, their health is low, and that's your chance to finish them off. But the longer they're in battle, the stronger they become, because every time they hit someone with one of those blades, they absorb part of their health, which quickly heals them back up to full. Though, as you saw there, the other annoying thing about them is that it takes a minimum of 2 hits to drop them, because they have the 9 lives perk, much like a bandit leader. You can knock them to the brink of death, but it will prevent them from being slain in a single attack. So you have to be able to hit them at least twice in a row. Reinhardt's in a rough spot there, surrounded on 4 sides. Fortunately, he's got Janos and Roderick there to back him up, but... uh-oh. Okay, that necro-savant decided to go after Dominic. And the other 2 are moving to our rear. That definitely could have been worse. Let's keep getting in hits wherever we can. Reinhard is holding up admirably on the north end, and Vlad drops our first Necro Savant. Yeah, Reinhard's still holding out, but he's getting nickel and dime there. Let's see if Roderick can get some use from this war brand he just commandeered. Not bad. That's one skeleton down and another one on the brink of death. Alright, Casimir. Casimir drops one skeleton. And then steps in to support Reinhard. Igot will draw his own great weapon, the great axe we just pulled off that hero. And he fells a skeleton in a single swing. And then I think we'll have him fall back. Let's see if we can put some more pressure on this Necro Savant before it teleports away. Reinhard continues desperately struggling against the 4 skeletons surrounding him. But they're still standing pretty strong. Rondus can't reach anyone with his greatsword, so he'll have to step up and draw his dagger. So close. And Janos, unfortunately, can't get through that skeleton's shield. And we're at the bottom of the round, so let's prep for some more teleporting Necro Savants. Pull shields where we can. Let's see what they do. Alright, one of them has gone up against Rondus. Good luck with that. And the other one's still focused on our back line. Well, that definitely could have been worse. Let's keep pressing the assault. Got some dancing skeletons on the north line. Reinhard the Survivor continues to survive. Roderick deftly dodges a strike. Okay, now let's see if we can actually thin the line a bit here. No hits so far. Igot steps up and whiffs with the great axe. But Oswald lands a hit. Dominic fells the last skeleton on the south side. And we'll start taking him north. Roderick attacks his foe with his warbrand. He manages to land one hit, but barely penetrates the helmet. Rondus slices through that 9 lives defense and fells the second Necro Savant. Chiron moves to defend the back line, and Reinhard Reinhard's just going to have to hold out for another turn or two. I definitely messed up Janos' move, but let's go ahead and start repositioning him. Well, we're at the bottom of the round again, and unfortunately I just don't see any other tactical moves we can take here. So, let's go ahead and move into round 5. The Necro Savant's finally repositioning. This time he's going after Janos. Definitely not a good decision on his part. Reinhard's armor is still holding out. He's gotten hit almost a dozen times now, but that, I think, is actually the first time they've managed to actually wound him. Vlad finally drops the first of the skeletons who have been harassing Reinhard. Igot rushes up to fill the gap. Casimir finally lands a hit on another one of the skeletons, and Dominic leaps up to finish it off. Very nice. Guess we'll bring Oswald around the north. Roderick will leapfrog over the lines to, again, fill the gap. And he knocks 9 lives off the last of the Necrosavants. Very nice. Now Rondis can step up, and there we go. The last of the real threats is down. Now we just need to finish off these last 2 skeletons, and we're going to need to do it quick because I just realized Reinhardt's morale is shot. Okay, Janos takes out one of them. Okay, Reinhardt's about to try to run. That might actually end up crippling or killing him. But not if Henry restores his morale. Alright, we're back in it. Reinhardt's still exhausted and bleeding, but he lands a solid hit there. And at this point, with only 1 foe left on the field, I think we've pretty much got this. Ooh. But, of course, that Skeleman is defiant to the last. He gets in that one last hit against us. And now we can hopefully drop him. There we go. I got massively overkills it with a swing from his great axe. Chiron hits level 10. MVP goes to Janos with 5 kills, though Rondis is a close second with 4. And not a lot in the way of good loot. That silver bowl will net us about 500 gold. Actually, I take that back. We pulled about 1,000 gold worth of loot there. And we got these Kopeshes, which are a bit on the fragile side, but they're pretty solid cleavers. It's just a shame they're so hard to get. You can only get them from Necrosavants. We'll definitely keep those in our armory. Oops, and I guess I'll have to shuffle our inventory a little bit. Well, I'll handle that off screen, and we'll pick up next time in Groninfest. See you then. Hey, RetconRaider here. As seems to be the trend, today was another good day for the Raiders. We slaughtered our way through a wandering pack of Wiedergangers, 2 undead strongholds, and we even wrapped up another ambition. We didn't get a whole lot of level ups, but we did manage to pull another couple of equipment upgrades with the gear we netted from that fallen hero. Now Igot's got his shiny new war axe, Roderick can get some practice with his new war brand, and we've got a slightly moldering set of plate mail to dole out, once we actually have a brother with enough stamina to wear it. Next time, we'll be heading back to Groninfest to pick up our pay, and hopefully they'll have another contract for us. We'll also be keeping an eye out for our next ambition. Personally, I'm hoping that will give us an opportunity to finally buy a wagon for the company, because I'm getting a little tired of constantly having to rearrange our gear just to make room for all this loot. Oh, and before I sign off today, let me just draw your attention to a recent exciting development in the world of Battle Brother. Now, I've previously stated that the developers had officially concluded their development of the game, and personally, I'm just fine with that. It's nice to get more content for a game I love to play, but every studio needs to know when to move on to the next project. But it turns out that Overhype Studios had one more surprise up their sleeve. They'll be pushing out one more content update, just as a thank you to their fans. We don't know a whole lot about the new content just yet, but from the teaser image they released over the weekend, it's going to be something big. We'll have more details in the near future, so you can be sure I'll talk about this a bit more next time. But for now, this is RetconRaider, signing off. Thanks for watching. Oh, and remember, although I do love playing Battle Brothers, you can find out more about the game by visiting the official website or the FanRun Wiki. Links are in the description.